Empty Vessel is a decent new strike playlist grenade launcher added into the game in Season of the Splicer. Well, today I'm going to have a look at the weapon stats, the roles for PvP and PVE, plus how to get the Empty Vessel in Destiny 2. If you're new around here or find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. Empty Vessel is a legendary energy grenade launcher, meaning it's a one-shot handheld grenade launcher with remote detonation. So looking at the stats, we got 32 for stability, 68 for handling, 68 for reload speed, 75 for velocity, 55 for blast radius. It's a 90 rounds per minute grenade launcher with one in the magazine. Well, next up, let's have a look at the Empty Vessel PVP and PVE god rolls. So given this is a playlist weapon, it has loads of potential roles. So this is great because some are really nasty indeed, but it also lowers the percentage chance of getting something really good. So for PvE, auto-loading holster and Vorpal weapon would be really good for that extra damage to bosses. And also you got Ambitious Assassin and Danger Zone is another good PvE role. And Danger Zone is a relatively new perk where the blast radius increases when surrounded, plus it overflows the magazine through Ambitious Assassin, making that combination really deadly. For PvP, Quick Draw, Multi-Kill Clip would be a decent role, or Genesis and Disruption Break. And Disruption Break is really good for PvP, as you can break shields with the energy weapon, and then finish them off with a kinetic weapon like Last Word, Steady Hand, or something like Chroma Rush. Well, next up, let's have a look at how to get Empty Vessel in Destiny 2. So to get this one, you do need to run strikes, and it is a random drop from the end of strikes, and it's a playlist-specific weapon introduced in Season of the Splicer. So this is much like the other playlist-specific weapons like Royal Entry and the Third Axiom. So this one is available for all players, so free to play, and also those with season passes and DLCs. It's simply a matter of luck to get it to drop, so run strikes over and over, or combine it with farming for Nightfall weapons. Well, that is a bit about the stats, the PvP and the PvE god rolls, and also how to get the weapon. But next up, let's have a look at the Empty Vessel lore. So the lore is really good this season. We've got loads of really interesting interactions between the Fallen and the members of the Last City. So we've got Empty Vessel lore. It's versatile. By itself, it's nothing, just an empty tube. But that's its deceptive beauty. It's all about what you fill it with, what you make it, and what you make it do. That's Banshee 44. Armoured boots clang down metal stairs as Lord Saladin descends the catwalk between the central tower. The bazaar is otherwise quiet, giving him time to contemplate the strategy needed for his impending diplomatic liaison. I demand a place in the decision-making for... Saladin trails off in thought as he walks. I request addition for your council for... And he grunts, shaking his head. Commander, I'm concerned about your inclusion of future war coal in... A grumble. None of it sounds right. Saladin pauses to look out over the city, where the streets are hidden behind a shimmering pool of digital fog. He closes his eyes, shakes his head, and takes a moment to compose himself. There's no sounds of fighting here, no gunshots, no screams. Those only exist in his mind. Zavala, I'd like to speak to you as a friend, Saladin tries again, and opens his eyes to the traveller with an affirming nod. You'll have to speak a little louder if you want the commander to hear you. The sudden intrusion of a voice not his own wheels Saladin around, catching Osiris uncomfortably close behind him. Saladin's expression shifts from shock to embarrassment concealed behind a mask of frustration. It is unbecoming of you to eavesdrop, warlock. Please, Osiris dismisses, slowly approaching Saladin. Anyone with an ear could hear you mumbling to yourself. I just happened to comment on it. He gestures with an open hand, then clasps both behind his back. I have a meeting to attend, Saladin insists, turning to make an abrupt exit. Osiris sidesteps, getting between Saladin and the stairs, and elicits an immediate look of challenge from the Iron Lord. Osiris mindfully raises both hands. Please, Lord Saladin, a moment. Saladin crosses his arms over his chest, impatience shows in a crease in his brow. Now may not be the best time if you're hoping to find an ally in the commander. Osiris explains as he places a guiding hand on Saladin's elbow, drawing him away from the main walkway. Commander Zavala is under considerable stress at the moment, Osiris continues. While you might see your presence as a reinforcing one, he raises his brows, glancing sidelong at Saladin, you may not be correct in that assertion. Stop talking in circles, Saladin plants his feet. And what are you getting at? When was the last time you, to put it as you did earlier, eavesdropped? Saladin rankles. I do not eavesdrop, he growls. Then perhaps that is why you do not realise what the overall opinion of your actions are in the eyes of other Guardians. Osiris's tone is gentle, apologetic, measured. It conveys an obvious tone. This news is bad, and he hates to be the bearer of bad news. Saladin is quiet. Osiris sees the lack of outward defiance as foothold, and he digs in. Many without our shared convictions have questioned your leadership decisions during the recent crisis with Empress Keitel. Osiris dips his head in close to Saladin's, voice hushed as if to share a secret. Others suggest it was you who ordered the assassination attempt on the commander. An Iron Lord would never, Saladin says with a quaver in his voice. I am not. I know. Osiris is quick to softly interject. But not everyone knows you like I do. They make well-articulated and convincing arguments based off your very vocal stance against an armistice with the Cabal. Closing his eyes, Saladin draws in a soft and calming breath. The sounds of gunfire, shouts and screams are louder now than ever before, or maybe it's the blood pounding in his ears. All the more reason for me to set the record straight. Is that what you came to the city for? To set the record straight, Osiris presses. Just a minute ago, it sounded like you wished to ask for a place in Zavala's inner circle. How do you think it might look? Saladin looks in the direction of Zavala's office, hands curling into fists. Lakshmi too is... Let me handle Lakshmi, Osiris insists, once more reaching out for Saladin's arm. So this time, the Iron Lord doesn't pull away. Fight the battles you know you can win, Lord Saladin. I know how to handle her. There may come a time when your strength will be needed again, but that time is not now. Saladin looks sharply to Osiris. A rebuttal forms behind his lips, but it's never spoken aloud, and he lets his head hang. Thank you, Osiris, Saladin says with a heavy heart, conviction flagging. You are a true friend. Well, really interesting stuff there. And Osiris speaking to Lord Saladin, and Osiris does appear to be acting a little strange, and I definitely think that's one to watch for the rest of the season. Well, let me know down in the comments what you think of the empty vessel. Let me know what roles you got and what roles you're chasing. And also, let me know what you think about that really interesting piece of empty vessel lore. Well, that is it for this guide for how to get empty vessel in Destiny 2. And as always, thank you so much for watching. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. If you want to join the community, check out the Discord link in the description, or you can follow me on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Thanks again. See you soon.